Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome. For you, Sag, Sun, Moon, and Risings, the month of September may be bringing some big changes to your earnings and career gains, as well as the first eclipse in Pisces, making significant shifts around your home and private life. Also, look for some kind of big changes in how you share your finances with other people, including those credit card companies, including those bank loans and mortgages, as you're going to be making big changes there, not just in September, but over the next 6 months. So welcome, Sagittarius, to my channel. My name is Lori Lothian. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're one of my regulars, welcome back. I use the whole sign house system, Western tropical astrology. Also, I love fixed stars and minor asteroids. They're a big part of my channel's content. That we're going to talk about the asteroid Cupido and Fortuna playing a beautiful role in the middle of September, bringing a doorbell chime of good luck for everyone, you included. The only thing I'm sharing with you as a promotion, if you're interested in learning astrology, how to time your best life, be your own astrologer, come join me in September. I'm teaching Sky Reader my fifth time. It's a live 6-week class with me. It starts the last weekend in September. I'd love to have you on board, and find out more by looking in the More button under the title of the video. That's called the description box. You'll be able to see the link to the course description, a link to the early bird email list where I will let you know the doors are open, and you'll get a discount for being the first in the door. Also, if you didn't see that I had my sale on, go check it out below as well. All those videos I created for 2024, one for each sign, are now more than half price. Those were never put out on YouTube. Those were private sales last fall and early last year. And now you can still get that content because there's still 5 months left in the year. So why not see what's still in store for you in 2024? Each video is 90 minutes long. All right, Sagittarius, first things first. I'll give you the good news, and then I'll give you the more intense news, and then I'll talk about that eclipse. We're going to break the sky down by the movement of planets, Venus and Mars and Mercury. Then we're going to go into the chronological breakdown of the month. For the chronological breakdown of the month, you might be inclined to take some notes or play me back or save this video, because of course these events will be happening over time and you'll probably forget what I'm telling you now. Venus is the goddess of money and love. And as a money goddess and a friendship goddess and a fun and play and pleasure goddess, she's moving in the month of September, indeed on August the 29th, into your 11th house of good spirit. This is a place where you have groups of friends, social activities, your sibling one older than you, and also where you receive the financial gain and recognition from the hard work of your 10th house of career. In essence, she's going to give it a beautiful energetic glow up. This could benefit you financially in your career, a raise, a promotion. It can also activate a huge amount of social activity. You might become a queen social butterfly zone of time where you're really quite engaged with other people, especially friends, colleagues, coworkers, maybe even people that are, part of larger networks like your book club or, some larger group that you belong to. These activities can bring you great pleasure and expansion during the month of September until the 22nd. When she's here, sometimes she can also bring windfalls, a little idea of pennies from heaven financially coming your way, where you just feel blessed by some kind of financial luck. Venus brings blessings to your relationship with a sibling one older than you during this month, if you have a sibling one older than you. And while Venus is transiting the 11th house of good spirit, some of your wishes and dreams come true. She's like a fairy godmother in the house of your wishes. And if you had some cherished hopes, dreams, or ideals, you might see them come to fruitfulness and fruition during her journey through the sign of Libra, your 11th house of good spirit. Now, that was the good news, Venus moving through the sign of your 11th house of good spirit, but then she transitions into a place of her detriment. It's called the sign of Scorpio, which is your natal 12th house, and she arrives there on the 23rd of September and doesn't leave until 17th of October. So the last week of September, the first 2 weeks of October, you're feeling this new kind of Venusian energy. Often Venus in the 12th house lends itself to an urge for solitude, for finding pleasure in your aloneness, for having isolation feel rewarding. It's often a time when you can do creative projects in your downtime when nobody else is looking. You're writing the book, you're finishing your painting, and it's called the house of bed pleasures, the 12th house, and Venus is a goddess of romantic love. And so you may be enjoying some kinky bed pleasures, forbidden, secret, hiding bed pleasures in Scorpio, but you might just be having more enjoyment of privacy, time alone. And if you make money from far off lands and international revenue and international sources, then you may also be doing that more effectively as Venus transits the house of international borderless income and revenue. If you want to learn something, you want to take a course, you want to study or travel to a foreign land, Venus brings pleasure and enjoyment in all of those matters, and it makes it much more successful during the September 23rd to mid-October timeframe. Now, what about the more challenging story that I hinted at? And that's not even the eclipse. That is the story of having Mars moving through the 8th house of your chart. Mars will segue into the sign of Cancer, and this is his first time in Cancer since last year, the end of March last year through to the third week of May in 2023. He did travel Cancer, and you might want to compare it because your 8th house is chunky money. I call it that, but it's money that comes as a chunk of money from, a bank card, credit card, tax rebate, chunks of money you share with the bank, the credit card company, your spouse. Inheritance monies come as a chunk of money that you could win, money that isn't it's not regularly earned income, usually involves other people. It's called the house of other people's resources, other people's money. Like J.K. Rowling has a stellium in her 8th house and she's a trillionaire because of shared royalty income with a publishing company. So, and movie rights. So where you get that kind of money that you share with others and you get a portion of it is in that 8th house. And it's a Mars story for how long? Until April 18th of 2025. It's crazy. That's because we have a super rare event in which Mars is going to be retrograding in Capricorn and Leo and spent a dog's age there. And here's my little rundown for you, because I got my cheat sheet here. You can't see it, but just so you know, I'll be doing a whole video on this because it's too exciting. September 4th to November 4th, you've got a direct motion Mars moving through Cancer, and then he moves into Leo because he retrogrades. Then on January 6th, he's back in your sign through to April 18th. So January 6th to April 18th, September 4th to November 4th, Mars in Cancer. So, this is an interesting time for you. You don't have a comparison, perhaps even in this lifetime. I'll have to do some research. But Sagittarius, it's like you're busy cutting, pairing, ending, and severing, or fighting for other people's money, fighting for the inheritance, fighting for your spousal support checks or your, palimony, alimony, spousal support, whatever you're getting. You're in a kind of divide and conquer. You may be dividing assets. You may be separating out from someone you live with or that you're married to. You might be having to go to battle for money that you need to get from the credit card company, from the insurance company, from somebody. So there's that energy, but it's also a deeper meaning to the 8th house. It's the occult mysteries and it's a deeper secret hidden knowledge of reality. And maybe you're just passionate about it. Maybe you're just like diving headfirst into, decisions and actions to learn about tarot, astrology, Kabbalah, and any kind of alchemy, the hermetic knowledge. Maybe you're just diving in there. It could be something more benign than fighting for money. But just know that this feeling of that energy begins this September 4th. And let me know how it goes, right? I'd like to hear from you guys, Sages of all people. How will that feel for you? What will that be like? We'll be doing, as I said, a big deep dive into this video, because where Mars goes, you also have to look at energies to do with where Mars has rulership in your chart and how he may impact other places. The only thing about this transit is Mars is in detriment. It's called Mars in the sign of his fall. So be careful when it comes to how you manage bank loans, mortgages, refinancing. Just be more consciously considerate of how you handle those monies, because a fall in Mars could mean a fall in those longer term finances. And that includes your stock market investments. I fully expect the stock market to correct in the next 2 months, recording on August 24th. And so knowing that astrologically looks to be true, although I can be wrong, I'm not a financial astrologer, be careful with your investment portfolios is the long end of the story. The short and dirty, be careful. Just be careful. Now, as we move into the other narrative, we want to talk a little bit about fast-moving Mercury moving through 3 signs this month. Until the 8th or so of September, he's finishing his journey through Leo, where he had been for 2 whole months beforehand due to a retrogradation here. As Mercury is now moving out of Leo, you're finishing that story and you know what you're doing with it. You're kind of moving on, and Leo happens to be your ninth house of book publishing, your house of foreign travel and visas, God, third marriages, your house of academic and university and college setting. So all of that now is moving forward after a bunch of back and forth stuff. Now Mercury moves on the 9th of September into the 10th house, which is Virgo for you. And this is good because he's in his dignity at the top of your sky. He's in his home kingdom. So it could be ideal, especially with the sun traveling with him all the way through until about September 22nd. Mercury here is wonderful for you. So Mercury will be here from September the 9th to the 26th, co-present with the sun until about the 22nd. So you got a lot of energy, light, and focus up in the top of your sky. And mostly it feels to me like you're going to be making some major reset button changes, redirections of some sort, because Mercury is about negotiations, communications, contracts, deals. And he's here every year. He is here every year. But he's also connected to the idea here that he has been in a huge amount of investigation of your ninth house. And your ninth house, Sag, is about the deeper meaning of your life. Like, what is it you're here for? What is it you are meant to do by being in a body? What is your truer purpose? What's your dharma? And because he was in Leo asking that question for so long, and you may have been traveling abroad as well for 2 months before September 9th. But as he moves forward, he's kind of more keen to focus your career into areas of deeper purpose, alignment with purpose. So maybe some changes in how you do your career, or what your career is, or what you consider your career to be. And because you have Uranus and Algol meeting up with Mars, Mercury, and the sun, you have some shocking, surprising, and sudden changes in your career and earnings story and the way you do that part of your life. Now, when he leaves the part of the sky that is your career zone on September the 26th, he moves into the 11th house where Venus had been traveling before that. This is where you're going to be a lot more social. Like, you're going to get, like, Venus makes your social life pleasurable. Mercury makes your social life more social. Like, there is no doubt about it. If you want to be a true social butterfly, gallivanting around, having a good communication, socializing, fun time with friends or groups of belonging, you get more inclined to do that around September 26th, and that lasts until the 14th of October. Mercury going through that 11th house in Libra, minor dignity, he's somewhat strong here. You could be finding yourself engaged in a lot of conversations, negotiations, deal making to market, sell something, a lot of discussions with an elder sibling, a lot of emails and phone calls going out with your social group networks. You might be like rallying the troops for election votes, gathering the votes, gathering momentum if you're one of those party type people, because parties can, groups of belonging. I'm a conservative, a Republican, 11th house. You're just busy as all hell, but it's communications, phone calls, emails, texts, that kind of thing. I forgot to mention, when Venus is here, I should go back, August the 29th to September 22nd can bring you some celebrity. If you're the celebrity type, if that's something you're like a micro celebrity or whatever in your YouTube land or something, whatever, Venus up here brings you popular appeal with the groups of people called, masses. And so that's also something to watch for. Something you're doing, bringing popular appeal, publicity, celebrity to you, August 29th to September the 22nd, only if that's your cup of tea. Otherwise, you're just very much enjoying your friendship circles and your social life. All right, now we're moving into the story of the time frame of the month bit by bit. Let's break it down. Get your pen, get your paper, or save this video or watch it later. Save it to your watch later list, because this is a very intense month. We do have that eclipse coming up in Pisces, the first eclipse at the bottom of your sky around September 17th. The eclipse story is a big deal. It's a new story that you haven't experienced since 2006-07. So we're going to get to that in chronological order. So let's go ahead and talk about it. On September 1st to the 3rd, we have a Mars moving through Gemini, okay, and squaring Neptune. Okay, well, what does that mean? Anytime Mars squares Neptune, I find it's where we can clear some foggy illusion, delusion, misunderstanding, or misperception or fantasy, and bring ourselves into more clarity about what's possibly real. And the part of the sky where Mars is doing this is in your significant long-term marriage house. And therefore, if you, and your domestic private life. So long-term, it could be legal contracts regarding property and real estate, or significant relationships with people you live with, especially long-term committed love partners, and seeing most clearly what needs to be seen in order for you to move forward or for them to move forward. If you're not in a long-term partnership or anything, then don't worry about it that way. It could just be some changes you're making with some significant others, and maybe someone cuts a friendship away or a relationship away, or you cut it or they cut it. Mars is in the house of significant relationships, and yet it clears some kind of illusion that was happening between the people that are being severed. Again, September 1st to the 3rd. On September 3rd to the 4th, we see Virgo in a, well, first of all, let's talk about September 3rd. We see September 3rd, 4th, Venus cojoins the South Node. And that is a place of disappointment or a place of loss or a place of letting go regarding a friendship. You may let go of a friend. You may let go of a connection to an elder sibling. Sometimes we do that. We can divorce siblings. You may let go of a cherished goal or dream. That's your 11th house. You may even just say no to a social obligation, but it has deeper meaning than that. There's symbolically, it's about letting go of something much more important than that offer to go off to, some event. So let go, let God. Venus says, I'll cover your back. I'm in my dignity. What needs to be surrendered? If you're going to make a friend in this energy, sometimes new people come into our life with Venus, then it's a soulmate friend. And if you're single, a soulmate relationship from friendship circles, from the friend zoned energies can emerge with someone new for you on the 3rd or 4th of September if you're looking for love. Now, on the 4th, on the 3rd of September, we're having a lunation. It's a new moon in the sign of your Virgo, in the top of your sky. New beginnings, new beginnings. We already see, I mentioned that Mercury will be talking to, and the Sun, Uranus, and Algol in your 6th house of work. So we see the same surprising change, this positive, considering career and reputation matters, reputation and social status too. My reputation is that I am retired and I do a lot of super kitchen work. My reputation is that I'm happily married. What changes that are positive in your reputation status, as well as your career and workplace, can happen? Well, new moons bring new beginnings. It isn't just going to be the day of the new moon. It takes place over 2 weeks to a month afterward, but even unfurls a deeper story over 6 months as we approach a full moon in Virgo 6 months later. One thing I would say about the new moon is the opposite Saturn. So you have a realism check. Saturn is like, get real about this new beginning. Does it mesh with your family of origin values? Does it mesh with what you need to accomplish, do in your home? Does this new career or reputation opportunity allow for the structure you're trying to create at the bottom of your sky where Saturn is traveling? You want to structure a new home. You want to structure a different kind of way of being. You're structuring for solitude and solace in the home. Solitude and solace can come together when Saturn travels the 4th. Your alone time in your home alone, like that movie, is good for you. And yet sometimes you can be melancholic, nostalgic, and sad since last March. And this is true until February of 26, as you still experience a Saturn transit through that 4th house. But Saturn looks at the new moon and says, well, there's a new beginning, but remember me down here, right? It's not time to just pick up your anchor and start a whole new career that revolves around your social status and your appearing in the world. You still need that anchor of solace and solitude, structure and wisdom, sage-like wisdom in and from what you do in your home. As we move away from that, we see September the 6th and the 7th. We have a Mercury in a square from Leo to Uranus. Yeah, remember, he doesn't move out of Leo until the 9th of September. So still there, the 6th and 7th at the tail end of the sign of Leo, close to fixed star Regulus. He's having a challenging conversation with Uranus retrograde on Algol. In essence, you may have a difficult, surprising, or shocking energetic going on here to do with a legal matter, to do with a visa, to do with a spiritual path that you've been on, to do with something connected to a third marriage. There may be some surprising, difficult conversations that you must have at that time, or that are happening whether you want them to or not. Oh, at the same time, this is happening. The sun now moving through the top of your Virgo heaven, your 10th house, comes into direct opposition on the 6th and 7th to Saturn. This is where your solar light of career is opposing the solitude and the darkness of the home in the midnight hour. You may have conflict between career agendas and career and reputation activities, and something going on at home that demands more serious attention around the 6th and 7th of September. September the 11th to the 13th, the sun is in Virgo on the top of your sky, squaring off with Neptune in the house of marriage. Again, potentially, although Jupiter in your marriage house until next June can bring a blessed new, expansive, prosperous relationship and anchor more solidity in an existing relationship, like let's move in, let's get married. But it can also bring blessed endings. And it's possible, especially if your Sag ascendant or sun or moon is near 20 degrees of Sag, that you might be coming into a critical turning point in a significant long-term business or love relationship. And that looks like September 11th to the 13th. Otherwise, you have a push and pull between obligations or commitments to significant other people and career objectives around September 11th to the 13th. I keep looking up at my notes. On September the 13th, on September 11th to the 13th, we also at the very same time see Mercury in a really sweet conversation with Mars. The two of them in a positive union together conversationally is always a blessing. We have Mercury in Virgo, and we have Mars in Cancer. We have Mercury in your 10th house and Mars in your 8th house of that kind of shared monies. It could look like a really good deal for like health benefits, sign-on bonus, severance packages, financial stuff revolving around career matters. You could get a contract for royalty income, or begin to see the direction of money from career looking more passive than active, especially, of course, for you entrepreneurs who create passive income on the regular. And commercial success can happen with a Mercury and Mars alliance like this. And so feeling more financially or commercially successful in some kind of career matter may be a narrative for you on September 11th through the 13th. You're ruled by Jupiter, by the way. So when Jupiter tells you to call off a relationship in that 7th house, business or love, he's telling you what's best for you, because some of you will call off some existing long-term relationships. Now, moving into the next thing, the happiest time of the sky. I'm so delighted by Jupiter and Venus in a beautiful trine, because Venus is in her home kingdom on the 13th and 14th of September, co-joined with Eros, passion, ardor, and Jupiter is co-joined with Cupido, passion and ardor and excitement and falling in love energies. And they're both in a flowing conversation. The lesser and greater benefic are in a luck upon luck archetype. So Venus is money and Jupiter is wealth. So we can get financial goodness here through contracts, agreements, legal agreements, signing on dotted lines. We get favors from allies, benefactors, friends, and elder sibling that are fulfilling financial windfalls or pennies from heaven even. Again, it can be many different things. If you're single looking for love, this is the ideal time to bump into somebody at a social event, or through friends who blind date you, or going out to do social activities with groups of people or groups of belonging. Just go to the meeting, go to the book club, go to do the thing, because this is a beautiful signature for new love for single Sages. I endorse dating, but when I say September 13th and 14th, give it a week before or after, go for it. It's a glorious, lucky, beautiful opportunity for a new love story. Now, we have the eclipse on September the 17th. It's happening at 25 degrees of Pisces in your 4th house of home, property, land, and real estate. You are going to find there is a fulfillment of something. It's not a new moon, it's a full moon eclipse. So eclipses are portals of change that is destined. What is going on where a fullness goes to the 4th house? It can bring a change of home. Now that's true all through 25 and into early 26, where eclipses keep saying, do you want to move? Do you want to move? But you want to expand your home. Rahu, North Node eclipses to a foreign country, maybe. Lots of home changes are possible for you Sages, especially if you think it's a destined change, and it's also kind of like where you feel you're expanding because you're making a change. You can talk to other people who've had eclipses through the fourth house, and they'll tell you stories of destined home changes. It's classic. Saturn gives you lasting home, a structure and realism around home as well. The eclipse is a full moon. It fulfills itself maybe a month before, up to 6 months after. And it's also got the node in your fifth house. Watch my eclipse video. I can't wait to dive into it. But it also could be a change of home involving children, a change of home involving lovers, a change of home involving entrepreneurial business matters. All of those things can bring changes of home. Full moon reveals why you need to move and why you need or should change your home. And that's a story that begins to percolate on September the 17th and unfolds over 6 months. Now we get September the 18th during this eclipse. So 17th, 18th, Mercury is opposite Saturn from your 10th house, just like the sun was already doing that. I felt this, career opposition to home matters. And now you get it again with news, conversations, contracts, agreements in the career space that pit you against that need for structure, solitude, traction of wisdom in your home. It literally looks like you also could come into a career matter that opposes some desire to form a lasting home. Like Sagittarius, with this transit of Saturn, you're trying to find a home, a forever home, a structural home, a home that has a good foundation. Neptune's been giving you confusion and illusion. And some of you might find that some career opportunity is going to sort of go against what you think you want to do in and from your home, things you've been trying to do since last March. And, a contract, an agreement, a negotiation, a bit of news in your career space, and suddenly your home isn't so structurally sound anymore. So let's see what happens for you then. Again, it's on the eclipse as well, right? September the 17th, 18th, and forming the eclipse. And a lot of you will find that what you thought was a solid home base may not be a solid home base, but some of the changes may come through the career and reputation axis of the chart. On September 19th to the 23rd, 19th to the 23rd, a big Earth trine forms in the sky. It starts off in the beginning of that with Sun trine Uranus. Happy surprises to do with career and work, and obligations to do with career, work, rental properties, and tenancies and pets. Surprise. But then the trine flows to Pluto as well. It's going to be a Sun trining Pluto in your second house. These are Artha houses 2, 6, and 10, and a wealth trine. So it looks like career, reputation, work, matters are going to be uplifted for you on the 19th to the 23rd in surprising and unexpected ways. And it's doubled down by Mercury following suit and creating the same big Earth trine for you. He gets that up and running, the same energies I've just described, September 24th to 26th, as he swaps places with the sun. So we keep seeing you getting these opportunities in your careers, changes, new beginnings. And because it's anchored with Uranus and Algo surprises, Algo as well, you could have like a change that you didn't expect, like a boss gets fired or loses their head and you get to up level, or there's a change in situations with rental properties, and you need to make a change in your home or rent a new home, or the office is going to rent a new property, or maybe a change in situations to do with co-worker spaces and colleagues. It allows for you to level up both financially and in your reputation and in your workspace, even if you're an entrepreneur. Keep it in mind. Now, wedged in the middle of all of that, because we're really talking about this Artha energy, this Earth trine energy for financial resourceful goodness coming through your sky, September the 19th to the 26th, because Sun and Mercury activate it back to back. But we also know that in the middle of that, around the 22nd, 21st, 22nd, Venus tangos with Pluto in a difficult way. Now, Venus is in a condition at the time she's going to have a conversation with Pluto. She's in her home kingdom of Libra at 29 degrees of Libra. Pluto's retrograding at 29 degrees of Cap. This is in your 11th house and second house. It could be a financial blowout with a friend, an older sibling, a financial toxic love story emerging through friendship circles. The friend zone thing went south on you. But also with Pluto in a money house and Venus in a other people like colleagues, coworkers, friends, an elder sibling, some really big challenge in that relationship to do with love is power, power is love, love of power, some conflict. Venus has the upper hand and she's in dignity. It will work out. It will work out, but there's a temporary glitch in the story, okay, around that time. When we look at the end of the month on the 29th, we see that Mercury comes into a conjunction with both the South Node and Sun. It's a triple conjunction at 6 Libra. Remember, September 3rd, Venus touched down at 6 Libra. Now it's going to be Mercury with the South Node. So Mercury, Sun, and South Node all together in your 11th house of good spirit. Venus has moved on, not protecting that whole story. So Mercury would be like breaking a contract, breaking a vow, or breaking an agreement, or breaking a treaty with a significant person, an elder sibling, a friend, a co-worker, workspace person, fracturing agreements. Probably South Node let go, Sun, career, Mercury, the news, the information, the paperwork. Now, if not, and it's more subtle than that, there may be some conversation or email or phone call coming through from a group of belonging, a friend that's disappointing, that's challenging, but the requirement is to release it, let go of it, and move on, right? Move on. We see that this conjunction to the sun is also in a flow to the asteroid Athena, Pallas Athene, in your first house. And therefore, you are being strategic, clever, and intelligent about what must be released in the 11th house. Not to worry. Yet it also is a moment of time on the 29th, a day or two before, that squares Ceres with Pluto in your second house. So it looks like it could be the end of a financial situation involving benefactors, allies, elder sibling, or work-related financial matters. I see it mostly as a contractual letting go or breaking, but deal making and strategy involved for some of you. And let me know how that plays out in the comments later on. I know some of you, if work isn't a big thing, it could be a blow up with a friend and a difficult, defining ending conversation of some sort, for sure. All right, thanks for listening. I hope that was a bit of help so you can navigate the month of September. Don't forget, I have all kinds of stuff in my description box. You might want to join my Patreon community, get all my content with no ads, also before the public, plus up to 3 meetings with me a month, plus discounts on my courses, and a whole bunch of perks when you're in my inside circle at Patreon. I have about 400 people who are Patreon member community members. And so I do have more time with you to watch your comments and connect that way, and to connect in the group chats than I will on YouTube, where I have 80,000 people subscribe, and you only are in a smaller group of 400. So if you want to jump aboard, come check me out on Patreon. I really love it over there. I'm getting a real groove with my people. Have a nice month of September, Sagittarius, because October is where the S hits the fan for everybody. Oh my God. Bye-bye.